Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm going to be talking about how to structure your marketing department for success. But before I get too far into that side of things, I want to discuss something that we at Footprint Digital call head chef syndrome. And there's a whole chapter about that in our digital marketing textbook, Shoot the Highest Paid Person's Opinion. So go and have a read of that if you want to. But this is kind of a condensed version of that. Head chef syndrome is essentially what we call the placing of too many tasks onto a single person within a workplace. And the chances are that you have probably seen it or experienced it. It's maybe you right now. And we wanted to look at how common a problem actually is it, especially within digital marketing, and what does being a digital marketing manager in the real world look like. So you can't really talk about chefs without talking about restaurants. And so I had to think about what great restaurants really have in common. And this does link into digital marketing, so don't worry about that. So firstly, a great restaurant has really, really strong visions or a specific vision and strong positioning as well. So restaurants like the River Cafe, Pizza Pilgrims, Honest, the Ritz, there are lots of restaurants there that I think have excellent vision and positioning. Particularly, they know exactly where they're going with what they're doing and who they exist to serve as well. They're clear about what their guests should expect before they even get to the restaurant, before in some cases they even make a booking. And they're clear about what they are better at and what they can serve better than other restaurants. There's so much competition out there that vision and positioning, especially in this industry, is vital. Product. So a really, really good restaurant will have a really good menu. They'll have great food, great drinks that their target market wants to eat and that will cater to those people coming into the door. They're really clear about what they serve, and guests know what they're going to get, and what guests expect marries up with what they get. And also it marries up with their positioning. So all of those things are really aligned and a guest gets a cohesive experience from that restaurant. Distribution is another important one. So the restaurants that do the best are going to be in the right place for their guests and for the type of food that they serve. So they'll know who their guests are, and what type of food that those guests are likely to want at different stages in their lives and even at different stages within the same day. So, for example, you might see fast food chains like Five Guys outside train stations because people need something really quick, really easy, really cheap. They've got to go and get their train, so they can't dilly-dally, and they're not going to be sitting down for very long, whether they sit down at all. You'll often find recognizable brands that offer, good food but not too expensive for walk-ins in high-density tourist areas. So something like Honest, you'll often find in high-density areas where there's lots of museums and things, because it's a good restaurant where you can just walk in, you're going to get a great burger, and then you can walk out half an hour later having fed the family. And then things like Michelin or tasting menus, you'll often find in potentially more special locations, such as five-star hotels or on the riverbank, or somewhere really nice where the setting is just as important as the food, because when you're then spending more money on food and you've got more time to enjoy it, you're going to want other things, other added value, rather than just a good product. So a great restaurant will also have specialists within that kitchen and also within the front of house, and specialist teams who focus on different areas of the business. You won't just get one person doing everything. And they're really brilliant at resourcing the right specialist team members to bring the entire dining experience together. It's not just one person playing head chef, host, waiter, bartender, cleaner, sous chef, pastry chef, saucier, pot wash. One person can't do everything. And so all of those different things that go, that we've spoken about there, go into putting the food onto a diner's plate. So we've got the vision and positioning, which is often looked after by the head office, management team, marketing, business development, those types of people. Product usually looked after by the head chef or development chefs, and distribution, potentially there might be a property team. And then, data analysis, again, it could be marketing, it could be the general manager, it could be the restaurant manager, and those people are looking at what's working, how can performance improve and things. So that's the analytics side of things underneath the strategy and direction of where the restaurant's going. So there's a lot going on here, and you can see we've kind of separated out how, what goes into your plate and how all of these different things lead into that. So you've got people on the reservations team, you could have marketing, looking after bookings, looking after menu design, looking after events, private dining rooms, loads of stuff going on there. Then you've got front of house, so general manager, restaurant manager, waiters, sommeliers, bartenders, all sorts of people there as well. And then back of house, where the head chef lives, but not only the head chef, you've got sous chefs, people on sauce, fish, pastry, garnish, all sorts of things going on there as well. So really, you're looking at a huge amount of talent and work going into one specific thing. And the same can be said really of marketing, and that's why we use the head chef analogy. And I think one of the big questions when you thought about how much is going on there is, what do you currently expect from your business's equivalent of a head chef? Do you have someone who is spinning too many plates and who you're expecting to do the marketing, make the food, put it on the plate, serve it to their guests, suggest what wine goes with it, go and make them a cocktail? Are you expecting all of that from one person within your team at the moment? Or are you potentially the head chef currently spinning too many plates yourself? It's a really, really complex challenge to unpick, and much like running a restaurant, digital marketing or marketing in general is an activity that requires a lot of different specialist team members to work together, because one person cannot be expected to understand in breadth and in depth everything that goes on within a marketing department. So to illustrate kind of how problematic this is, we developed the following model on the next slide, and this shows the wide range of activities that a business needs to think about to drive new business. So this is all of the marketing activity that a business needs to undertake. We focus mostly on website, because we are a digital marketing agency. That's what we focus on: search, paid, conversions, content, and generative AI and things like that. So that's why we focus mostly on the digital. But you can see here, you've got market size activity, so things like digital PR, social media, print media as well, can't forget print, running events, going to events, networking at events. Then we've got existing customers that move into this as well, so nurture flows, email, loyalty campaigns, help desk, so community management, marketing automation, and sales agents there too. And then when we look at the market share stuff, we've got search engine optimization, generative engine optimization as well within that. Then we've got paid media, paid social as well, kind of anything paid advertising wise, conversion rate optimization and UX on the website, affiliate marketing, marketplaces, the list just goes on and on. And the challenge gets much more complicated when we also add platforms and tools to each of those specific areas. Each of those areas have so many different tools that you can get into, and somebody has to learn how to use those and use them effectively. We've got things like Google Analytics 4, all of the different social media platforms and the way that those change and the way that their algorithms change. Things like Hootsuite, Salesforce, Marketo, some of those can be really complicated to learn. The CMS system that you're using, it could be WordPress, could be Magento, could be something else, but you have to get to grips with that. Search engines, Google, Bing, marketplaces, and then email, things like .digital, MailChimp, and then of course AI, and getting to grips with how to use AI to improve what you're doing the list of tools a marketer might be expected to learn really is endless, and it's different in every single job. And thinking about all of that then led us to think, well, what actually is a digital marketing manager? And really, there's no such thing. There's a huge difference between the roles and the responsibilities listed in job descriptions, and we know that because we looked through a load of them. There's a conflict of skill sets within the role of a digital marketing manager as well. And there's an expectation for a person to be both strategic and tactical on one side, and creative and analytical. And it's those skills don't necessarily mesh that well. Being strategic and being creative are potentially not two skills that you're going to find within one person. There's also quite a big confusion between a marketing role and a sales or a business development role. Many marketing roles are expecting marketers to sell, and that's not really what a digital marketing manager is for. So, as I said previously, we've actually looked through job descriptions. So we reviewed 100 job descriptions for specifically a digital marketing manager on LinkedIn, and we've analysed the tasks and skills that were requested in those 100 job descriptions. And so this is what we found. This is where we've kind of listed out the categories and the tasks within those categories for a digital marketing manager to perform. So we've also prioritise the categories into what we think are must-haves, which are in green, should-haves, which are in yellow, could-haves, which are in orange, and I don't think there's any won't-haves for now, but that would have been in red if there were any. So we've got networking with a range of stakeholders, managing agencies, so that would be working closely with third parties to implement campaigns, to do dev work, for example. Sales, so communicating directly with the end consumer and actually going through that that stage of sending out contracts and getting things signed and closing, basically. Managing social media, Twitter, Facebook, well, it's not Twitter anymore, but X, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, all of those different platforms. Creating, developing and managing the production of marketing materials, which could include leaflets, posters, flyers, newsletters, e-newsletters, collateral for online, so white papers, things like that.